When maintaining a healthy diet, we often focus on what we eat. But what about when we do it? A new study has revealed healthy food intake can revolve around what time of the day we're eating. Dr. Joe Kostorich is here to break it down for us. And Dr. Joe, the study looked at daily hunger rhythms people follow. What did it find?
Yeah, interesting study, Liz. Good afternoon. Look, they studied people over 1,000 over a 5-year period, and as often with these studies, it relies on people writing down sort of data on what they do. It's built on previous work that showed what's called hunger rhythms seem to peak at 8 p.m. at night time, which is an interesting finding. I'm not sure anybody's worked out exactly why that's the case. But they looked at people who ate more food after 6 p.m, and they tended to eat more in total than those who ate more of their meals and food before 6 p.m. In addition to that, it appeared that the people who ate more food later tended to be more likely to eat sort of processed and perhaps less healthy food than those who ate their meals earlier in the day.
Okay, so it seems to be that this is influenced by lifestyle. So how do you avoid slipping into an unhealthy diet if you have a later routine?
Yeah, look, and it's almost a little bit of a chicken and egg question, because it sort of starts, well, are people eating these sorts of foods because they're eating later, or is it because they're eating later that they tend to eat these sorts of foods? And you can understand if people are working late and get home 7, 8 o'clock at night, they may be less inclined to, to perhaps want to cook a steak or put some fish on the pan or make a salad for themselves, and they might just pick up some takeaway on the way home. So you can understand how that happens. Getting a good routine is important, and it's important to work with what works for you, not necessarily what works for the next person.
Okay, so this study aside, we are generally seeing more evidence that when you eat can be as important as what you eat.
Yeah, this is an interesting field of research, and it's driven, I suppose, phenomena and ideas such as Michael Mosley's 5-2 diet, which says you can eat pretty much what you want on 5 days of the week, and on 2 days you really cut down your intake significantly. The other is the 16-8, where you eat your meals within an 8-hour time frame of the day. Now, some people are morning people, and they want to get up, they're hungry, they need to have a decent breakfast. Other people, might want to eat later on in the day. So you do need to be guided by your own body. It's a little bit like if you're, good at golf and not good at tennis, then, maybe follow the golf rather than the tennis route. So be guided by your own body in those situations is often a good way to go.
Okay, well, are there certain times we should all be eating more or less, and how much of it does come down to individual metabolisms and routines?
Look, there are probably no absolutes. I think it's fair to say that we shouldn't be aiming to eat much in the hours leading up before we go to bed, and that's for a number of reasons, including the fact that we don't tend to sleep as well if we do that. There's also a school of thought that says that if we do eat a little bit more sort of in the first maybe 2/3 of the day, then perhaps we'll burn that energy off as we go rather than later at night. But it's a combination of what and when. And I think what happens sometimes is if we leave it all too late, it just seems to get a little bit too hard, and then, oh, look, I'll just eat some potato chips rather than, something healthier. So I think it's about thinking about all of those aspects rather than assuming, well, it doesn't matter what I eat, so long as I eat it at the right time, it'll be okay, or it doesn't matter when I eat, provided I'm, doing something else. So I think it's important to not focus too much on just one or the other, but set a healthy diet and get into a routine that suits you.
Okay, good advice, Dr. Joe. Thank you.
You're welcome.